Oh, Tingyun, Foxy and Butte, though her neck be cranking 90s like a Fortniting pro. But even with all that said, this is no joke. She is the best 4-star. She is the Foxy and Goat. Tingyun's here. She's back in the banner. I made this rhyme up really quick and it's cringe and you're about to clamor. But today we will talk about the best build guide for your mommy with the thickest fluffy tail and thigh. Okay guys, don't worry about that. We're talking about Tingyun today. Yes, the best 4-star in the game. My cringe little rhyme there, don't worry about it. We're gonna go through everything you need to do today to build the best Tingyun possible for everyone. Honestly, she can be used in just about every team. It gets to the point where she is running so many teams where I wish they would let you run more than one character, right? Or let you have like duplicates of a character to run, because I can definitely see her being used on multiple teams. She is useful in so many scenarios. She is just really big, and we're going to be talking about that first. Why she is so big, why she is so good. We're going to talk about her skills and everything like that first, how to level them, and then we'll get into the actual build guide. There will be timestamps in the videos, so make sure you click on those if you don't care about the skills, and this part here if you just want to skip to those certain parts there. So gamers, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Tingyun, the Foxy and Butte, the GOAT of the game, the best 4-star there is to offer. So starting off with her skills first, I think obviously one of her most important things is her ultimate, but we're not starting off with that first. We're going to start off what builds up the ultimate, which is the skill. Basically what this skill does is it grants benediction to one ally for 3 turns, which is going to give them a pretty big attack buff. Like I said guys, this lasts for 3 turns, which means she is really SP efficient. And then coupled with Eidelons on top of this, this just makes her really, really good. We'll talk about her bonus effects on Eidelons in a little bit later in the video, but with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what the ult does, which is her most useful thing in the kit in my opinion. Amidst Rejoicing Clouds, it's going to be regenerating 50 energy points to a single ally and increasing that ally's damage for 2 turns. Yes, it's going to be increasing that damage for 2 turns for that ally and giving them energy back, which means you can speed run getting their ultimate. This is a hack. This is the only character that can give you energy, and on top of that is giving you an absolute huge amount of energy. I will say energy regen does not play any part with this energy though. I think it's reasonable to think that, because if you had a big energy regen, you'd basically be getting your ultimate back up immediately as soon as you use your ult. Yeah, no energy regen plays a role in here, so don't worry about that. Energy cost is 130, so kind of high. I can see why it's high, because it does a lot for you. And then finally, what her talent does is whenever you attack an enemy with Tingyun, the ally with benediction immediately deals lightning damage equal to 39% of that ally's attack. So basically, she's giving you extra damage whenever using her basic attack. Look how cute she looks. She's waving that fan at you. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about what these bonus traces are going to be doing now and how to level up her skills. Bonus trace number 1 is going to be increasing Tingyun's speed by 20% after using a skill for 1 turn. That's pretty solid, pretty good. It gives her a speedier recovery, meaning she can get, energy back faster. Number 2 here, guys, is going to be increasing her basic attack damage by 40%. You'll be using this a lot, so this does come helpful, especially just doing a little bit of extra damage to those enemies. And then finally, Jubilant Passage. Tingyun immediately regenerates 5 energy at the start of her turn. This is really, really good. So every single turn, you're getting 5 extra energy. This does play into energy regen, so the more energy regen you run on her, she'll be getting extra energy on top of the basic attacks and skills you're using as well. This is just really clutch. I think this is by far her best ability that she has, regenerating that 5 extra energy. Now let's talk about what she should be leveling up in her kits. I don't even necessarily think you'd need to focus on like getting any of like the bonus traces. Maybe the defensive ones can help. I mean, they all can help obviously, right? But as far as like the small nodes go, but as far as like her abilities go, I would focus on leveling up her ultimate and her skill. These are the only 2 things you really need to focus on leveling up. I wouldn't really recommend going past this. As you can see, we're leveling this one up to level 10 now, so we have both her skill and ultimate crowned, basically max leveled, whatever you want to call it. These are the 2 things I would focus on leveling up, because these are the 2 main things of her kit. Now, with all of the traces out of the way and how to level them up, let's go ahead and talk about the number 2 biggest thing here, which is subscribing to my YouTube channel so you can get great content like this whenever I upload every 2 days. Only like 5% of you guys are actually subscribed, so if you want chances chances to enter future giveaways, which we'll be doing in 1.5, and more content like this, please hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what relics you should be running on your Tingyun. Now, I think the best set to run on Tingyun here is going to be the 4-piece of the hackerspace. I'm not going to be showing any charts or comparisons here because her main focus is not really damage. It's really her surviving, her going as much as possible, her getting energy back to get her ultimate back up, and this is what I find to be the best. We just run her super supportive. I recommend running this 4-piece set here just because whenever you use her ultimate, it will be increasing the speed of all allies by 12% for 1 turn. Super big, super good. And another good thing about Tingyun is that she is really flexible, right? So you can really run like kind of whatever relic set you want to run on her, whether that be a 4-piece musketeer if you want to increase her own speed by an extra 6%, plus getting an attack buff, which means she hits harder damage and she gives your character with benediction an extra attack buff. 4-piece of the musketeer can help us out because her attack buff does rely somewhat on her attack, so this can help out in that aspect as well. You could also run 2-piece disciple if you're having trouble surviving. You can run 2-piece speed here. Like, you can run just about anything on Tingyun and it'd be completely fine. As far as the planar sets go, this is pretty flexible as well. You could run a 2-piece Von Whack if you're really worried about the energy regen. She does have a higher energy regen rate, so Von Whack could help with that extra 5%, plus running an energy regen rope is really big for her as well. Talking about some other sets you could run, Fleet of the Ageless obviously increases the max HP and attack of all allies. And then finally, Broken Keel. Broken Keel is another strong set you could run on her just because of the fact it does give you a crit damage buff to the whole team, plus effect res for her. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty simple there. I don't think there's really much to talk about on that aspect of this. So let's go ahead and talk about what main stats you want to be running on your Tingyun. Now, for the boots, I would recommend running speed. You want her to be really fast. You want her to be going and cycling as much as possible because she does have a high energy regen rate. You want her to be getting that energy back up as fast as possible, like I said, just so you're able to, you know, you're being SP positive anyway, so it doesn't really matter as far as the amount of turns go that she uses. But this does allow her to ult more often, which means that your team or teammate will ult more often depending on who you have that buff on. On the body, this is really going to depend on you. You could run an attack percent body here if you're looking to do some extra damage with her, as well as give your ally an extra attack bonus as well. For me personally, I'm running an HP percent body here just because I'm kind of low on HP. We're only at 3k HP right now, so we're really down bad. So that's why I'm running this here. For the actual sphere, we're running an HP sphere as well. Like I said, I'm down bad for HP. You probably also want to run attack percent here as well, but for me personally, I'm running HP percentage just to get her over the 3000 HP threshold. You reasonably want more than 3000 HP, but that's, you know, this is what we're working with right now. Yeah, so if you can't get over 3000 HP, I would recommend getting there at least with running these 2 pieces if you need to. And then finally for the chain, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Run energy regen rope. This is going to be by far her best option. You want her ultimate to get back up as fast as possible, so you're regenerating that energy for the rest of your team, or like I said again, another ally. Talking about some of the substats you want to be running for your Tingyun, you want to be focusing on speed, attack percentage, effect res, and HP percentage. HP percentage helps her survive. Speed obviously is like the most clutch stat in the game. Attack percentage is going to help her do more damage and give your allies a bigger attack buff. And then finally, effect res, so she's not getting beat down the dirt every single turn you use her, right? Ayo, I bet Tingyun had 0 effect res when Fantilia cracked her neck open. That's why we need effect res, guys. Come on. Talking about some of our Eidelons now, as you can see, mine is very free-to-play friendly. Mine's very relatable. We're at an E4 right now, and I'm not pulling on Jingliu's banner, so I'm probably not going to get any extra copies of her. Though I think most free-to-play players probably should pull on Jingliu's banner just for the fact that she's on the banner, and Jingliu's cracked as well. Windfall of the Lucky, really good. This is going to be giving you an extra speed increase whenever you use your ultimate. So basically, the ally with benediction is going to get a 20% speed increase, meaning you use your skill, you use your ultimate, they get a 20% speed increase. Though keep in mind, this can mess up your rotations if you have everything really finely speed tuned. E2 is going to be giving your ally the ability to regen some extra energy whenever they kill an enemy if they have benediction on them. This can help in certain scenarios. Just 5 extra energy. It helps out in certain situations. Energy is always nice to have. Now E4 is really big. E4 is going to be giving you a 20% increased damage multiplier with benediction. So this is just really big. You're getting 20% extra damage with benediction. And then finally, the E6 Ultimate regenerates 10 more energy for the target ally. That means instead of 50 energy, you're giving 60 energy with the ultimate move. As of right now, like we said before, it gives 50, it's going to give 60. Really, really big. 10 extra energy is going to be really, really huge. Yeah, so Eidelons, E6, obviously the best. E4 is nice to aim for. Honestly, everything really kind of helps her out, right? I mean, every Eidolon you get for is going to be a massive, or not really massive, but it will progress her quite a bit, right? None of them, like, really suck. I think they're all kind of, like, mediocre, like, they all work for her, but E6 does bring the biggest value to you. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about her light cones. Now, depending on who you're using her with, it's going to depend on her light cone a lot. I will say probably one of her best in slot light cones is going to be the Bronya light cone, but the battle isn't over. This is going to allow her to regenerate a skill point for the team whenever you use ultimate, as well as a plethora of other things as well, guys. She's also going to be giving an extra damage buff to whoever's next in order if you use her skill. So like I said, really big. Bronya's light cone is the best light cone for just about any Harmony character. Hopping into her second best, I think is going to be Dance. The reason I say this is because ultimates will advance forward allies' actions by 16%. Super good. This is amazing for her. She's going to be advancing forward the action of all allies by 16%, which means her ultimate is just that more effective, because, you know, it's hard to explain. You know, you're advancing for their actions, meaning your whole team goes faster when you're using a single target ultimate. That's just really good. It's kind of an understatement of how good it is, right? Now, if you're using someone on the team with lightning, Planetary Rendezvous is probably going to be her best in slot. It's going to be giving a damage boost to that ally if they're using damage buff. Really big, really huge here. I don't need to really explain it. It gives a damage buff. Come on, really good. It's just free damage. BP light cone also works for her as well. This is just going to be giving her either attack bonus, crit damage bonus, or energy regeneration bonus to all of your allies. This is going to change every single turn. So yeah, this is pretty good to Crave the Moon, Weave the Clouds if you have it. So instead of doing a character showcase here, I kind of wanted to show off like the damage numbers that she does, or I guess the difference she makes on a team. So we're going to be using Zila here for an example. I just have her as our little baseline damage dealer here. She'll be having her in the night light cone with around a 2-to-1 crit rate to crit damage ratio. She has around 60% crit rate with 110-120% crit damage here. So I just kind of want to show the difference off here. There's no really other stats involved here. Her stats are really low. Just keep that in mind with this little thing I'm showing off here, because these numbers will multiply and get even bigger the bigger stats you have on your Zila. So starting off with Zila with no Tingyun buff at all. This is using Zila on the team and not having any type of buff on her at all. This is going to be her base level attack here, which her ultimate's going to be doing 36,000 damage, her skill 15,000 damage on average, and her basic attack's going to be dealing 7,000 damage on average. Now, with the attack buff that Tingyun's going to be providing, this is going to be increasing her ultimate damage by around 10,000 up to 45,000. Her skill will be increased to 19,000, and her basic attack will be increased to 9,000. Now, these damage numbers here will be your normal damage, because you will basically have the buff up on her at all times. So you can expect this damage buff you see here a pretty good amount of the time. Now, let me show you the damage numbers with both the buffs active, that being her skill and her ultimate, with the extra 50% damage bonus she will be providing. That's an extra around 10,000 extra damage on the ultimate, so going from 45 to 55. And on her skill, we'll be going from 19 to 23,000 there. And then finally on the actual, I guess, basic attack, we're going from 9,000 to 10,000, about 1,000 difference there. As you can see, really nice damage numbers here. So you get a ton of damage just from using her on the team. This is not even mentioning the fact that she increases your Zila speed, which, you know, inherently increases the amount of damage she'll be doing anyways because of the in the night light cone. Also other benefits of her being able to cycle more frequently and get her ult up more often. Tingyun's ult will be giving Zila more ult. So overall, just a really big buff here. But gamers, that's going to be doing it for our little build guide today on Ting Sneed, the Foxy and Mommy. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We will be having another build guide come out in the near future here on QQ. I want to redo my QQ build guide because she is absolutely cracked, and she's also on the current banner, as well as some more topical videos. I guess we're going to be talking more about Topaz and Noombi coming out to the game, more about should you be summoning for Zila, is she even worth it, is the hunt category even like that good anymore in comparison to the other categories. So yeah, that's all we're going to be talking about in some future videos coming up in the next 2 weeks now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see you in the next one, and yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already for the 1.5 giveaway. Anyways, gamers, that's going to do it. Catch you guys in the next one. Later. Bye bye.